Welcome out to a special edition of Dorks on Mike's E3 edition. Hi, I'm Offbeat Charlie.
I'm Golfing Will.
And I'm Red Hot Johnny.
And we're here to talk to you about a few things about E3 that's probably going on right about now. We got a few things from all the major camps, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, of course. Starting off, I think we should talk about the Wii U, huh?
Yep. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct pre-E3 conference yesterday, and it was basically talking about the Wii U and kind of what it's about, and a little bit of more or less the social media side of it. So let's see, as well as the controllers too. So, you guys, what do you guys want to discuss first? The new Miiverse or the controllers?
Well, yeah, you said they had like the Miiverse is sort of like their new social network, right?
Yeah, it's essentially like a social networking thing. Basically, the way that they described it is the Miiverse is going to be like on the hub for the Wii, and basically all the Miis that you're friends with, all your friends' Miis, all the Miis on your account, and as well as other Miis that you may meet online, all gather like around like certain titles or other things that they're playing, and they're pretty much gathered in a group in a way. And you can pretty much see what they're playing and what their thoughts are about the game. It's actually pretty cool in my opinion.
That sounds pretty interesting. So say I'm playing Metroid Prime, you'd be able to see that?
Not you playing it, but what you say would show up. Like if you were to, if it allows it.
Oh.
Because I don't know if it'll be.
So it allows for statuses.
Yeah, you can post statuses as you're playing.
So say like you can play a game, say like, if there was a new Metroid coming out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, the boss in the caverns really sucks. And you could post that and everyone would see it.
Yeah. And if you're in game, sometimes depending on what kind of game it is, it'll actually show up like while you're playing. Like I guess the best example is during the actual like conference itself, they showed a clip of a new Super Mario Brothers game for the Wii U, and it showed someone dying, and it showed like other people that had died that had posted like little statuses on there as well that said like, no, I died again, or I can't believe I keep running into this scoop, things like that, essentially.
Now, are these real-time posts, or do they show up just like after you finish? And
they're usually like after you finish, but they're around the exact same time. And then, like, when you go to the map, though, like, on there, it's actually in real time. Like, you'll see, like, bubbles pop up of what people think of this level or how they're doing or, if they keep dying or what's...
Oh, so it's only on the map that you get the real time?
Yeah, or when you die.
Oh, alright, yeah, because I can see it, like... I can see it being really annoying just getting, like, a billion real-time pop-up statuses while you're trying to beat a level.
Yeah, it's only when you die or when you're on the map. Like, during gameplay, it doesn't affect it. And that's the other thing too, is that like at any time you can actually pause the game itself, and you can go to like the Miiverse hub or the actual Miiverse itself, or you can go on the internet browser, kind of similar to like the 3DS, how you can press the home button and suspend the game and go like on the internet browser, and then like that, pretty much the same concept.
So in a way, we could be playing a game and then say, oh, I'm stuck at this level, I need help, so I could pause the game.
Yeah. And
go straight to the Windows?
Yeah, you can go...
Or not Windows, but...
The Miiverse. Yeah. You could go to the internet and look it up, or you could post questions on Miiverse, because they have a board, and they showed it in the Miiverse trailer, that you can actually like... The guy was having trouble with this zombie boss fight, and he paused the game, and he pretty much put the mood that he was feeling out of, like, I think it's like 6... So he put like he was feeling, sad, really upset, frustrated, and he pretty much put out like basically a question like, how do you beat the zombie boss? And people are responding like, oh yeah, I have that problem too, or oh you just got to do this. It's almost like, have you ever been to FAQ, like game FAQ?
Game Fest, yeah.
Game Fest, yeah. It's like that, how people will post in there and then they'll comment like, yeah, I'm having that problem too.
So like a forum.
Yeah, it's almost like a forum. It's like a little board that you can ask. And you can do it like that, and you can get help from there, or, you could open the internet browser and go look it up online as well. And then you can go back to the gameplay, kind of similarly with the 3DS.
Oh, so it's almost, I can almost see like a community sort of rising out of this, where like there will be almost like a Mario community specific towards the games that are on the Wii and all that.
Yeah, like the zombie one was classified under general shooter. So it's like
So it would have different like topics.
yeah.
To search by.
So I'm not sure if there's going to be one for like actual games itself, like pertaining to that game, or if it's going to be just under a general thing. But even if it is general, you can just post like, "Hey, I'm having a problem with say like boss, the first boss in New Super Mario Brothers, for the Wii U. Can anyone, help me how to, defeat it?" And then that way people will know, okay, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you just got to do this, this, and this, and this," and then you can go back, jump into the game, and then do that.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Now, I see here that they also have that U tablet. Is that what they're calling it?
It's actually called the gamepad. The actual tablet
Gamepad.
controller is called a gamepad.
And let's see, we should be probably showing it on screen right now.
Yeah.
And this is essentially what it looks like. This is the final production of it.
Yep.
So, the thing that's weird for me is, I would really love to know the design choice as to why they put the right control stick up above the buttons.
Yeah.
That is a new kind of twist to it.
Yeah, because if you guys are anything like me, you're going to be pressing up with the control stick, and then all of a sudden your hand's going to come and hit like the A button or something.
Or the X, especially the X button, because that's even closer. To the
Right, and then something will happen that you don't want to happen, and it'll just totally screw up your whole game.
Yeah.
Now, I see it features a camera up top.
Yeah, that's used for. It actually has built-in built-in video chat. And then it's also got an NFC reader/writer, and that's pretty much NFC stands for near field communication. So basically, like you can use that to interact with other things. Like they showed it like in the Miiverse trailer that by putting it up the actual gamepad, the gamepad controller against the TV, this person was able to actually talk to someone, seeing them on the TV, as opposed to looking at the screen itself. Which, like pretty much you'd have to hold it like this in a way to see, so it doesn't look like you're looking down at someone like this. So it's nice because then you can just see people on the TV, and then you just set up like the gamepad right in front of the TV itself, and then it'll show you like what you're seeing, and then on the TV it'll show like a small box, and then it'll show like an actual bigger picture of the other person. It's almost like Skype in a way.
That would be really cool because especially for like people overseas and that. It's a great way to keep in touch.
Yeah. And then
It has competition.
and then you can actually see that like right there. I'm pointing in like your guys' computer, but there's next to the power button itself is a little thing that has. It's called. It says TV, and then underneath it says control. Basically, this gamepad controller also can function as a TV remote.
Really?
Oh. Yeah. Like you can change the input on your TV, or if you have something like Dish or Comcast or AT&T Uverse, you can pretty much sit there and you can actually input the number itself, like on the gamepad, and you can use it as a remote.
That is very handy.
And you can actually turn on the Wii U from it as well. So,
I'm
That's
always
really cool.
losing remote, so
Yeah.
that'll help. Second remote.
yeah,
Nothing like adding an extra TV remote to my little shelf.
yeah. And then, so basically, like what people is like. Basically, what people are saying is that like it's going to be a good feature for it in terms of like social networking, because you can talk to other players, you can ask them questions, you can discuss a game, you can see what your friends think about it or what other people playing that think about it. It's really nice because I just really like that when you post something like in the boards, like in the forums that they have in the Miiverse, with those emotions, like when it asks, like if it asks you what your mood is and stuff, it'll actually change your Mii's expression for the post. So like in the Miiverse trailer, the guy was frustrated or upset, so he made like a sad, like he clicked on the sad face, and then when he posted, it actually made his Mii look sad, as opposed to actually having to go all the way into like the and editing his Mii to look sad. So like it changes it for the post.
That's nice. They add kind of personality to it, more or less.
I mean, it is a little bit basic. I think it's only like somewhere between like 5 or 7, but still, it's something,
Yeah, it's really nice. Now I'm looking here and I'm seeing the sort of like the alternative to the Wii U gamepad, and it kind of just looks like a rip-off of the Xbox 360 controller, but still with a messed up joystick configuration.
Yeah, that's the Wii U Pro controller. That's for like people that are more geared towards like using the control. The ones that are skeptical about like using the gamepad itself. You know, if they want to play with an actual controller, that's the solution. Like, you know, the next Super Smash Brothers, as we all know, is coming out for the Wii U. So rather than using the gamepad, you can just use that, and that's the solution. You can still use a controller and kind of have that, you know, melee brawl feel to it.
Yeah.
But the thing that is just, it's like I don't think it would be as bad for Smash Brothers because I think the right analog stick would function like the C stick, like
more or less.
So
like
you
that.
wouldn't have to worry about it. It's just that it'd be a little awkward having to hold it like this, you know, press the buttons down there, as opposed to here, where you might, you know, your thumb might, you know, slip over the stick.
So, yeah, speaking of Smash Brothers, you know, not a whole lot's been said about it, but I'm just thinking, you know, with all the characters that are already in Brawl and that were in Melee, who do you think should be in the new one?
Oh boy, I'm also, or a personal favorite, I'd love to see Mega Man still in it.
Yeah. That's the thing is that they said there was more third-party people joining, and there's been rumors going around that Capcom is possibly going to be joining, if they can actually get Capcom to agree. So, you know, maybe there might be a chance that Mega Man might be in there.
Yeah, but knowing Capcom, they're probably going to pull some cheap move and just like throw 0 or something like that.
Yeah, because I noticed that too. It seems like
You
Zero.
get roll.
Yeah, lately I've been seeing 0, you know, a lot. You know, he was in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
As opposed to Mega Man.
Right.
And then, like, in the Street Fighters Cross Tekken, there's, like, a fat...
There's, like, the fat American box art Mega Man, which, you know, that idea should have died well with the 80s.
Yeah. So, who knows? I mean, maybe they might actually put Mega Man in this, like, the actual Mega Man that everyone knows.
Yeah, you know, Mega Man, or even, like, Mega Man X, or the Mega Man from Legends, you know?
Yeah.
Just a Mega Man. A real
Yeah.
Mega Man.
A
That's
real
all we
Mega Man.
ask.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as long as it's Mega Man, you know. I think one of those three, yeah, because I was thinking, because there's also the Battle Network one, and that would just kind of be a little different because...
It would be.
Yeah,
I'd be a fan of it, though.
Yeah,
like,
because
I liked it.
it's like, you need battle chips to you know, work them, as opposed to the other Mega Mans, which are, you know, robots and they're self-functional, and they, you know, have their own weapons. Whereas, you know, with the, you know, Battle Network, you know, they have, like, a NetOp who, you know, gives them chips to make their abilities, you know, happen. As opposed to, like, you know, Mega Man being able to destroy a Robot Master and, you know, taking the power from it afterwards, you know, with the copy ability.
And, talking about third-party characters that we'd like to see in there, I'm thinking Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. I actually had this idea figured out. Like, you know, he'd have the, like, just say if you were to be thrown in Brawl, for example, which basically, I'm guessing the new Smash Bros. Is just going to be a build off of that.
Yeah.
And where, like, Travis's final Smash would probably be something like, whenever you get a match in the slot machine, what was it, like the luck or whatever it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Where you get, like, the strawberry cheesecake brownie or whatever.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon.
I know, but it would be cool, wouldn't it?
mature game, coming down to teen.
Well, think about it. Solid Snake was in it, and he came from an M-rated game down in
Very true.
Yeah, that's true. Now, from what I heard is that originally Snake was supposed to be in Melee?
Yes, Hideo Kojima, the creator of Metal Gear Solid, had asked the developers for Smash Bros. To put Snake in Melee. Now, if I can, from what I remember, they was like too far into development to where they could do that, and so eventually they made it work out to where Snake would be in Brawl, and so he was.
Yeah, and all I remember is that Sonic and Tails were always like rumors or like hoax and Melee, and people would be like, "Oh, really?" And then people would go and do all these like crazy, weird,
I remember.
ridiculously hard things, and then it's just like, I think for Sonic it was like you had to defeat like 20 of the wireframes in Cruel Melee. I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is impossible,
Yeah.
as we all know.
I also remember seeing one about Toad.
Yeah.
Like, you play as Toad, but you have to hit every single name in the credits when you get to the final credits.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
And And I was young, I was stupid, I actually tried it, and no, there is no Toad playable in Super Smash Bros. Melee.
I think if it's like in characters in general, not only third party but other characters, I think honestly, in my opinion, I think Daisy would probably be better than Peach because she's more of a tomboy, so I could see that being more of a.
She's not afraid to get tough and rumble.
Yeah,
That's true.
so.
I also want to see Dr. Mario come back, but have a completely different move list.
Yeah, that would be a lot better. I think my personal opinion is in Melee, I really like Roy personally.
Yeah.
Roy
so replacing him with Ike and Brawl was kind of like one of those like.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it was one of those moments where like, wait, where's Roy? Like, because at that time I didn't know who Ike was, so I was like, is Ike like some new like Fire Emblem character? Because I didn't know about his games at the time in the Fire Emblem series, so I didn't know that he was an actual Fire Emblem character. I thought it was something that he was just made up for Brawl to replace Roy, and then they were gonna do games for him later. So, but
not the case.
I mean, so I think that'd be cool if they brought Roy back, with a slightly different moveset than Marth. And I mean, they could keep Ike. They just should make his moveset a little more towards how he actually is in the games, like. From what I heard is that Ike doesn't use fire-based attacks in Fire Emblem.
No.
He uses, light-based attacks?
Boy, I don't really remember. Point being, he doesn't shoot fire.
Yeah, he doesn't use fire.
I think they just threw that in, like a little...
Yeah.
He's like Roy.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Ness from Earthbound. Like, if you actually play Earthbound, Ness doesn't have any of those PK powers except for, like, Flash.
Yeah.
And so I guess it was just to keep the character interesting, where they give him fire and lightning and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or even his final smash, the PK Starstorm.
Starstorm,
Everyone who's played Earthbound knows only Pooh gets that.
Yeah.
If you name him Pooh.
I have a file on Earthbound right now where I just named it after a bunch of singers that I like. So right now, Pooh in my game is named Surge.
Anyways, we should probably get back on topic. Let's see.
So Sony has a Smash Bros. Like game coming out as well.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Yes, as everybody may know by now, Sony PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale is a thing. And I took a look, and so far the characters that have been revealed to be in the game are Kratos from God of War, Sly Cooper, Male Raddick from Killzone, Sweet Tooth from the Twisted Metal series, Fat Princess of Fat Princess, and Parappa the Rapper. Now, we were talking about, their character wish list for Smash Bros. I think it'd be a good, what kind of characters would you want in Sony's game?
Honestly, personally, even though I haven't played it, I've seen playthroughs of it. I would think, well, I'm sure that they're in there anyway, but even if they weren't, either way, Jack and Daxter, definitely.
Yeah, I think they'd be a nice part in it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm thinking more like the guy from Infamous. I'd love to see him, shock people and just use that ability.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm thinking old PlayStation here, so I want to see Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah.
And maybe even Croc,
I'd like to see a Dante in there. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I mean, he started off with the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd say they'd bring him back.
And I also saw something about Nolan North and David Hayter doing voices, so I'm thinking that Nathan Drake and Solid Snake are going to be in there somewhere.
That would definitely be interesting to see Snake in another game like that.
Oh, definitely.
Because he's in in Brawl,
Right.
That's totally different. That's Nintendo.
And especially with Sony, they're not going to be afraid to have Snake use guns as opposed to just explosives.
And that's the other thing too, is that in the games, in the Jack and Daxter games from 2 on, Jack gets guns. Now, in the games, they don't show blood and anything, but because it's a team game. But like you said, they wouldn't be afraid to actually give Jack his guns in this game. Like you said, with Snake, they would actually let him most likely use actual stuff, actual weapons, as opposed to melee. Only having the bombs and the grenades.
Yeah,
I would love
the
to
punch and the kick.
Right. Yeah. I would love to see Snake's grapple moves just be everything like CQC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak. You win. You win.
Speak. Throw me off the ledge. You'll get a victory.
I want to see how Papa's rapper
Yeah, I know. That's sort of an odd choice, isn't it?
That is. Now, Kratos, I could definitely, see the similarity of how he played.
Yeah, same thing with like me and Jack and Daxter. I've watched gameplay. I know that sometimes Jack uses Daxter in terms of attack, so that's why I'm thinking like, would they make Daxter a separate character, or would he just be with Jack? Because the thing is that Daxter, you can't really, in a way, do much. Like I know that there's gameplay where I can't remember which Jack game it is, but you do get to play as Daxter, but he doesn't really like do a lot.
He does get his own spin-off?
Yeah, he
has
his own game.
Yeah, he's got his own game, which takes place between the start of Jack 2 and then like the actual like part of Jack 2 where he frees Jack from the prison.
Yeah.
Because at the start of Jack 2, they travel into the future, and then they crash land, and then they arrest Jack. And then Daxter says he'll free him. Then 2 years later, it cuts to 2 years later, and Daxter finally, gets the Jack. So the spin-off is basically what he does in that 2 years.
So that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just happy Sly Cooper's in it.
Yeah.
If I do end up playing it, that'll be why.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if they tried to wedge not Meat Boy, but Sackboy in there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah,
because they do have a Little Big Planet stage.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be at all surprised if there was like a generic Sackboy just ready to just fight.
Yeah.
It could be like Super Smash Brawl though, in the fact that it's got an Animal Crossing stage, but no.
Yeah.
No Tom Nook to hit you with a shopping cart.
Yeah.
That's all the game was missing.
Yeah, pretty much. A raccoon. Let's see.
Yeah.
What else do we have? We also have the Xbox Smart Glass for Microsoft. Now, apparently this new project is a whole bunch of new features added to the Xbox itself. You're looking at it to feature things like being able to connect to the TV. Also, you can get different types of information as well. And you can, apparently they say, use phones as remote controls. I'd like to see that kind of played out a bit, just because I don't see my phone, it's a dinky little thing, being a,
Yeah.
It's probably reserved for, like, the droids, like, not even...
being added to the Xbox itself. So I'd like to see also how, with the Kinect wording, if you could say, Xbox, porn.
Yeah, I would... Oh, my God. I just got a bad visual in my head. If the adult game market got a hold of the Kinect.
Oh, God! That's where they're going!
Where this kind of motion will be used in a minigame.
What have we done?
Where has our society gone?
Crap! That's Xbox! The Men in Black!
Microsoft, oh shit.
They know us. We know their secret. Anyways, so that would be the Xbox Smart Glass program itself. Let's see. We got phones as controllers. We have useless information.
Your phone can do just about anything nowadays.
Pretty much, except call someone.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You always get bad signal.
And speaking of which, in terms of the phone, that's another thing here in terms of, because I forgot to mention this, because I just now remembered that with the Miiverse, afterwards, after launch at some point in the near future, you'll be able to access the Miiverse via, online or from like your, mobile devices, your phone, your 3DS. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That actually sounds... Now, would it be like an app, do you think?
They said it would be like, like on the 3DS, it would be an app, and I think on like Droid phones, it would be like an app as well.
All right.
And then you can just access it online on the computer. So
another reason why I should get a smartphone.
Yeah.
Another reason why smartphones will kill us all.
Yeah.
Now, I also did notice that Nintendo is planning on doing something special for Kirby. Because it is the 20th anniversary of Kirby. Any ideas on what they could possibly do?
From what I heard, they're doing sort of like they did with Mario All-Stars, except it's not just going to be a straight port of the Kirby games. Like, they're going to compile them together.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, if anything, they should include Kirby's Dream Land, because that was the first game.
Yeah.
Kirby, maybe Kirby's Adventure, but they already have that out on 3DS. And then they should definitely do, like, Kirby All-Stars and Crystal Shards.
Crystal Shards, that was a good one. Fan favorite.
So those should definitely be in there.
So, in terms of that, what do you think it would be like? Would it be like, Kirby gets flung into like a generation style, like Kirby goes to the past, or do you think it'll just be like a progression of like, Kirby like in Return to Dreamland, like that original style that kind of work its way through, like.
See, what I thought when I heard about it, I thought it was just going to be like a compilation, like how they have Super Mario All-Stars.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be like, you can choose from these lists of games and you can play them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. It'd just be, old games that they're re-releasing with it.
And then, depending on whether or not they want to go with like the Sonic Collections route, throw a really random game in there, like they'll put in Punch-Out. Hey Johnny, what you reading?
I am looking through my Nintendo Power. And
Why are you looking through your Nintendo Power?
stuff to talk about. I know they're doing a new Pikmin.
Oh really?
Yes,
for the Wii U, right?
Yes, for the Wii U. It has to be Pikmin 3. There wouldn't be another title.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Pikmin 2.5, Olimar's Rebirth.
This one stars a Pikmin controlling an army of humans. With a whistle, no less. Irony. Isn't that ironic? Also, there are rumors going around that the new Super Smash will not only be for the Wii U itself, but they're thinking 3DS too.
Oh yeah, they announced that it's going to be for the 3DS.
So there's two different
definitely,
ones.
and I can definitely see some great connectivity possibilities going on. Where maybe if you have both the 3DS version and the Wii U version, you can play maybe like some 3DS exclusive characters on the Wii U. See, like that kind of thing, I think would be cool.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, like having exclusives for the two.
Yeah.
And then
maybe if you have both versions, you can download the Wii U characters onto the 3DS.
Yeah.
I guess that would work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion worked, where if you have both games and you link them up, I believe it was if you have both and you beat Metroid Fusion, you could wear the Fusion suit in Metroid Prime.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I know they offered that in the Trilogy set, but that was more of a... They had medals you had to get and acquire, like, oh, you killed
Oh, so
this
it was more
boss.
like an achievement award?
Kind of, yeah, that's the way it worked. But I think that one was a little different. Like, you had to have friends who beat Metroid Prime.
Yeah, I know, that was a weird thing.
I hated that.
Yeah,
Just
me too,
no one
because...
else-
Yeah, especially like, they first did that in like Metroid Prime 3, and there was a lot of cool stuff that you can get, but you had to like send requests to friends, and I didn't really have any at the time.
Right. Well, not that you didn't have any, I just...
Well, not really, it's just nobody that I knew their friend code to.
Another good reason why Nintendo's getting rid of their friend code.
Yeah, with the Nintendo Network, which is funny because I recently played, I recently bought Mario Tennis Open, which you guys know I was playing a little bit before we started recording. And the thing is that features the Nintendo Network. Now the thing is that like, what I don't understand is like, when you play Mario Kart 7 online, like the connection is amazing. Like it's like you hardly get that much lag,
Yeah.
But yeah, when I play on Mario Tennis Open, like there's points where it'll lag so bad to the point where it's almost like stop motion. It reminds me of the lag like on Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Oh god,
Me and my cousin were playing one time it was moving so slow that like 5 minutes went by and we pretty much inputted like 5 minutes worth of like button controls because we got so bored of waiting. And after a while, it was like he was Falco and I think I was Ike, and we were playing on the Hyrule Temple stage. And that block there with where the gap is.
Yeah.
After 5 minutes, he's just now starting to jump, and I'm like coming towards the ledge, and it's just so slow, and it's just like. And it was,
right. I think I remember I actually played with you, Johnny, where we were doing like Luigi on Luigi,
I think
and we were
so,
on Shadow
yeah.
Moses, and everything was just going like, it was like really laggy. It's like, you would be down here, I would be up here, all of a sudden you would be up here, and I'd be tumbling towards space.
and
It's like, what happened?
It's like, what happened here?
That's pretty much how it's like. It's like you'll serve the ball right, and then like you'll see the ball, and then it'll stop like this, and then like just. It's like stop motion, essentially. So I don't understand, like, if this is supposed to be, like, better than the Wi-Fi connection that they're using now, then...
If it's supposed to be better than what they're using, I don't have high hopes.
Yeah, because I think the better idea would have been to just rename the Wi-Fi Nintendo Network and then just add the stuff from the Nintendo Network itself to the Wi-Fi. Because then you keep, like, that better connection, and then you don't have to worry about that. Whereas I think they're trying to do this from scratch, so it's like the DS Wi-Fi, how that was kind of the same way. So I think it would have been better to just rename it and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
who's a fan of Paper Mario?
I do enjoy the series, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gone back and played like the original or the second one, but I did play Super Paper Mario.
Yeah, that one's my favorite.
Yeah, that is. I like the fact that you can have like Bowser and Peach and Luigi.
I just like, because I'm going to say it right now, I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based RPGs as much as I like Earthbound and Paper Mario. So Super Paper Mario was a really nice change to where every time I encountered an enemy, I didn't go to another stage and then just sift through menus for the whole time.
Yeah, it's just it kind of goes back to like its traditional like jump on enemies type.
Yeah, except you got experience points and you leveled up, and it was really cool.
Yeah, and I think I beat the Pit of 100 Trials in Flipside, but I can never beat the one in Flopside.
Yeah, no, that's where I got stuck.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked is because they're bringing that to the 3DS as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, look forward to that one. Also, it's showing that Kirby has a new game. There is no title for it. All that it says, it's going to be for the Wii itself. There's not even a date out yet. I'm thinking that's what they're holding for the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, it's probably going to be their 20th anniversary.
And speaking of other games as well, for the 3DS, who here is like a fan of Luigi's Mansion?
Oh yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2 is coming out too this year.
Yeah,
now,
Luigi's Mansion 2.
There is a rumor that they're thinking it might be for the Wii/Wii U. Just because there was a online gaming website where you could buy and pre-order games. And under the Wii section, I believe it was, they had Luigi's Mansion 2 listed underneath, just for a few hours at one specific time of day.
Yeah.
But it was showing, reserve this copy now, and then they quickly took that site, or took that whole, page profile they had made for Luigi's Mansion 2 and replaced it with, a 404 error code site. So there's a lot of people who stumbled upon that, and they're like, hey, maybe they released it a little too soon.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool, just because
Yeah.
it'd be a little easier to play, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
So.
I have the demo for Snake Eater 3D on my 3DS, and I just gotta say it right now. I played Snake Eater 3D on both the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3. I recommend getting it on the PlayStation 3 if you can. But I played it on the 3DS, and the lack of a second analog stick really comes out while you're playing it. Because, it's almost like, for those of you who played it, it's almost like playing Peace Walker, where you have the face buttons that move the camera, and then you do all the action with the shoulder buttons and the left analog stick. And I'm sure it serves its purpose, but it's just much better if you have the second analog stick. And I know that they have that peripheral where they do have the second analog stick, but it makes it really bulky, and you can't really take it anywhere.
And I think, and that's the thing about the 3DS. I think when they make the next one, it'll probably feature a second one built into it already for the sake of that, because it is kind of like when they do make games that require 2 analog sticks, it does kind of,
Right. And
it throws it off.
Like that's really the only. That's like the only point right now where I can see where the PS Vita would kind of win out over the 3DS.
Yeah.
Is because they have the second analog stick, and so you can do all sorts of crazy cool stuff with it.
Yeah. So that's what I would think. Like whenever they get around to making like what I would assume would be like a 3DS Lite, they should probably feature like a second,
Just have it built in.
Yeah, just have it built in because that way you don't have to buy an accessory that allows it. It's there already.
It's almost kind of like, do you remember with the old like Game Boy and Game Boy Color
Yeah.
where you had that one peripheral where it was like the magnifying glass and it also had a light attached to it?
Yeah.
And now look, DS, 3DS, even some of the later Game Boy Advances, they have the backlight built right in.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too is that like with the 3DS, it's like it was the same thing with the DS. Like with the first one, and like I know that you can with the DSi, it's like the DSi and the DS Lite, you can actually turn off the backlight.
Yeah.
But on the original DS, you couldn't.
Yeah. Then again, I think the original DS had a much better battery life.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the thing about the 3DS is that the battery life it's good, but if you're playing it on a slightly higher brightness setting, it cuts the battery life. And that's the thing. Is like it would be nice if you could turn it off. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm hoping for, like a new 3DS model coming out.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, like, they tease us with like the purple 3DS, but ooh, yes, play your games in peony purple.
Well,
but that's about all we got right now.
hopefully you found our witless banter amusing.
Because you're going to get a lot more of that, I'll tell you what. So, yeah.
Until next time, then.
Until next time.
This is Red Hot Johnny.
Golfing Will.
And I'll be Charlie.
See you around.